Looking for Coin Betty. Hodge cuts through. Reese goes on the board inside the first
G'day
five.
everyone, welcome to Wangers TV. I'm Wangers and I'm here to give you a quick match reaction to the Wallabies round 6 victory of the Rugby Championship over the Argentina Pumas. 27-8 victory. Try scorers for the Wallabies were Reese Hodge, Samu Karevi and Kellaway. And Montoya got the meat pie for the Argies. I thought a confident performance today from the Wallabies, coming off two tough victories over the Springboks, a more convincing second victory, but nonetheless tough physical encounters. I thought this was really going to be the litmus test for the Wallabies to see if we can continue the momentum. But really, I think the Argies are a bit of an unknown quantity when it comes to sort of playing the Wallabies. Like, they can sometimes be really on their game and really give it to the Wallabies, the All Blacks, and the Springboks, and even get the upset victory like they did against the All Blacks a couple of years ago. But I thought this year, this game up in Townsville was a very test match-like performance from the Wallabies, very clinical. There are some things that I thought we did really well, and that just came from confidence and then the ability just to be a little bit more clinical in our play, converting those line breaks. So I spoke in my last couple of videos about entering the 22 and converting the points. Here is the thing that I really loved the most about the gameplay we had was being able to convert those half breaks and breaks into penetrating moves to get the Wallabies on the front foot step. I thought as the team as a whole played really well. I thought the outside backs really contributed to the performance of the team as a whole. Not that they don't usually, but I thought they had significant performances. And when we come to man of the match, I thought there were definitely a lot of shout-outs that were in there. But I thought a really good performance from the Wallabies. I heard a stat that that's three in the bounce, the first time for a while that the Wallabies have had, I think, before the World Cup, so 3 wins in a row. Looking to make it 4 next week with round 7 against the Argies on the Gold Coast, and then straight into the spring tour. So I think there's a lot of good momentum there that we can build on with the Wallabies and our general gameplay. I thought, as I said before, one of the things that we definitely did a lot more was a lot more clinical. And especially in the first half. I thought in the second half, and I'll come to this a bit later, in the first half, we definitely were making line breaks, putting a lot of pressure on, and really were able to score points. And I think that's a really crucial thing. So we talked about, as I said previously, being able to enter the 22 and convert. Well, now it's about making those line breaks, getting behind the defense, and really playing front foot footy. I thought the ruck speed was a whole lot quicker. Whether that's, I think, slightly because the Argies weren't committing as many or making the ruck as much of an issue as the South Africans were, but I thought ruck speed was better, ball play was better. The links, I think there was a couple of, I think I counted 3 times where there was a move where Koroibete would come in, give it to Nick White back to Koroibete, and same with Tate McDermott as well. That was excellent interplay, just in and around the rucks, keeping the ABC defenders sort of square and stationary, and then allowing the ball to go out the back. I thought Cooper really had the backline on a string today. Outstanding performances from Karevi and just the entire backline all together, all the way out to the wingers, the fullback. Excellent play, excellent front foot play. I think what I'll do is I'll quickly go through my match ratings. I thought the front row, Slipper, Folau, Tupou, excellent games. The scrum play was interesting. I think from the last 3 games, 4 games if you include the one over in Perth with the All Blacks, the referees are becoming more technical around the scrums, which is good. I think the only problem with that is that there'll probably be a lot more time spent around scrummaging. But I thought coming into this series, especially the Wallabies would be found out with our scrummaging, but I thought we did really, really well, especially against the RG. I thought, they've got a strong, dominant scrum. We definitely got a couple of penalties, seem to be going through the front row, and sort of winning our ball, contesting their ball, which is excellent. I thought Tupou had an electrifying game. I think there was definitely a game plan to try and get him playing in that 30 or that 40, or, well, the C or the D channel, which was excellent. Getting him sort of 101 with almost the 5'8", the inside center. I thought that was excellent because he's definitely got a damaging running game. And it showed because he was able, a couple of times he was able to sort of get behind the advantage, like even break through, looking to link up with Hooper and Matt Phillip there. So that was excellent play by Tupou. Falafang, a solid performance. I think the lineouts did really well in the first half. We'll come to the second half. I think when Kaitu'u came on, I was really disappointed with our lineouts. I don't know if it was just tiredness, fatigue, maybe because Darcy Swain came on, there's a whole change in the team. I'm not entirely sure, but the one thing that was worrying to me was that when we play teams like England and France, and we do the spring tour, we're gonna need that impact off the bench. And right now, our starting 8 are playing well. They're playing scrummaging well. And to be fair, we did scrummage well when Robinson came on and the replacements came on. But the lineouts are just a bit of a concern. We were not winning our usual ball. We weren't getting. The two jumper was getting up a little bit too slow. I think the option that last week where we had Swinton going up, so here we had we had Leota going up. He was working well in the first half. The second half just looked like slow. The timing was off. So I was quite disappointed with that. I thought we could really put them to the sword, and that's something that we just didn't really do as a team. And speaking of the clinicalness that we had in the first half, it really dropped off. And I don't know if that was the humidity or lack of concentration or the feeling of the general gameplay of the game, thinking that we've had this in the bag. But that complacency is something that we can't afford to have. We need to put teams like Argentina to the sword. We need to try and get big score lines, which is I was quite disappointed with. Just generally, it was good to see James O'Connor back as well. I thought that sort of was good to see him playing in the second half. Just coming back to the player ratings, Matt Phillip and Isaac Rodder, I thought excellent games from them both. Matt Phillip didn't give away needless penalties. There was one penalty in respect to the defense of the lineup. I mean, driving early, and I was fine with that. I thought the silly penalties that he did give away in the first in the 2 Springbok games, they weren't present in his game, which is excellent. He just did his job, tackling, getting up there for the lineup, which was excellent. Michael Hooper, outstanding performance as per usual. I think it's now become sort of expected of him, which is great, and he definitely lived up to the performance billing there. Rob Valentini, excellent. I was really impressed with his running and his aggressive running. I think the one thing that the one criticism that I did have leading into the series of Valentini was whether he could be that aggressive runner. He seems to play really well. He sort of has a bit of the Dane Gagai sort of feel, where he plays well for Origin, but he doesn't play well for South Sydney. And I was thinking that he was playing well for the Brumbies, but not being able to translate that performance to the Wallabies. I thought he's been doing it for the last 3 games, which is excellent, and I'm really impressed, because that's a number 8 is a position that we definitely need to fill. Just a big, strong runner. Pete Samu did well as well, and he's really putting a lot of pressure. So I don't know if that competition is generating this sort of gameplay from Valentini, but excellent performance by him. I was really impressed by Leota. We need an enforcer, and I thought Lockie Swinton would be that enforcer. He definitely is that enforcer, but Leota's performance today didn't even get talking to from the referee. He was aggressive in his tackling and his running. He did his job well, won his line outs. I mean, that's all you ever want. From an aggressive player, yes, you want that nickel, but you want that discipline as well. And I thought he did his job excellent. He was running really well. He's a big body, threw his weight around, running aggressively as well. There wasn't that half pace into contact. Really good tackling as well in and around the ruck, which is excellent to see. So, Leota, he definitely, for his debut start, I thought he had easily like an 8-9 performance. Excellent work by him. And just the whole back trio played really, really well. Nick White, excellent game from him. I thought his kicking was great, and not so much the field kicking. His general kicking was excellent, but one thing that I really did like about him was just his organization and the ability to get the ball quickly out of the ruck. Mind you, we did have quicker. Like I said before, I don't think Argentina were contesting the ruck as much as the Springboks did, but his clearance of the ball and just his gameplay within that 10, 20, 30 channel, excellent work. Really engaging, really sniping around the ruck once we started to get on the front foot, which is a byproduct. It's like a vicious cycle. If we as a team can get on the front foot, break, get over the advantage line, turn the defense around, Nick White can then, start to snipe in and around ruck, picking out lazy defenders and then getting quick ball over. It's like a vicious cycle. And I'm really glad that especially in the first half, and even when Tate McDermott came on as well, I thought that the halfbacks did really well this game. So, both halfbacks were, in my book, were getting sort of an 8 out of 10 performance today. Cooper, Mercurial, unassuming game. Ball distribution was excellent. I probably counted about 4 tackles that he did, so he's definitely getting through his work whenever he's on the field. So excellent performance by him. Karevi and Ikitau, they were phenomenal. Karevi, a lot of good busts up the middle, and his ability, even in contact, to just keep his body high, give a couple more seconds for the support players to get there was excellent. In the first probably 20 minutes, I counted 3 or 4 line breaks. Really bending that line back, that big body, and I personally hope Hunter Paisami is watching the way Karevi's playing, because that's the sort of player that Hunter can be, and I really hope he's encouraged by this and by sort of being around Karevi and sort of knowledge dropping and all that kind of stuff. I thought he had an excellent game. Ikitau he's maturing as a player. Excellent performance by him. I thought definitely came out of his shell in this game. And it's been an evolution for Ikitau. I thought that first Springbok game, he did good bit things here and there and did a baseline job. Really stepped up in that second Springbok game. Got a couple of meat pies. And today was just a phenomenal performance. Good ball handling. The no-look passes on the wing. Wow. I thought the good thing that him and Reece Hodge did was really straighten up the defense. So rather than moving sideways, they straightened it up, which gave Kellaway, space in the wing. And, I think I counted 4 line breaks by Kellaway, clean line breaks by Kellaway, which is exactly what you want to do. I like how Ikitau, and it all starts because of Ikitau. If he is running straight, it then gives room for Reece Hodge to run straight. It then gives room, for Kellaway on the wing, which I thought, we did excellently. I thought the Argies did give us a lot of room on the flanks, though. Unlike the Springboks, who had that up and in your face sort of defense, they did give us a lot of time, which meant that we can then straighten. But I think it's the old saying that you can only play what's in front of you, and because they gave us that time, it allowed Ikitau to straighten up, to Reece Hodge to straighten up as well. So Karevi, 10 out of 10 performance for me. Ikitau, 9 out of 10 performance. Reece Hodge, I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10. I thought some of his kick replies, and this is probably to be honest, for all back three, was a little aimless. I thought we were being sucked into a kicking drill, and I get that. When you're earlier on in the game, you want to sort of suss out Argentina's willingness to run the ball. I thought we put up a couple of aimless kicks, up and unders there with the chase, and I think that's hopefully something we can look at for the next game. But I thought, the back three played well. Kellaway, I'd say an 9 out of 10 performance. Koroibete, he's the usual, 8 out of 10. Hodgie had a really great game as well. And I think, the back line as a whole fired, which is so good to see for Australian rugby. And our ability to be clinical comes from confidence. And we've got that now after sort of overcoming the mighty Springboks. And, really great performance by the back line. I can't sing their praises enough. I thought off the bench, JOC, great to see him back there. A little rusty, but, it's his first game. Hopefully he gets a bit more sort of running time next week with that partnership, with Cooper or with Lolosio. Darcy Swain, solid performance. Tate McDermott, solid performance. Ikitau, like I said, great tackling, great engine around the field. It's just those lineouts. We need to get those moving. I I just get worried when I see stuff like that, and when we've got the spring tour coming up. But I mean, it's great it's happening now. It's something that Davo and the coaching staff can definitely look to address. So, I mean, I'm glad it's happening now. And yeah, I thought my man of the match, I mean, a couple of good, strong performances by Ikitau, Kellaway, Corbett had a good game, Tupou had a good game, Hooper had a good game. But I thought man of the match today was Samu Karevi. Excellent performance, excellent front football, big body as well, skillful body. He just had a great game, and his ability to then link up with other players, or if crap gets shoveled out from the ruck, and there's a ball just popped up, he's able to hold up and just assess the play, whether you need to take it into contact or look to just hold play up a little bit or put a dink in behind. But other than, I definitely thought he had an excellent game. It's really good performance today by the Wallabies. I thought, like I said, we sort of petered out towards the end of the game. There's a couple of tries which we left out there, which, I guess it's just rustiness. That's what I'm putting it down to anyway. I'm hoping by the time we sort of hit the European tour, spring tour, we definitely get those sort of things under wraps, because we need to have that impact off the bench, or at least that minimum a lack of drop in the effort levels around the pitch and execution. So, but solid performance for the Wallabies, a confident performance. Getting game time for the players, and like I said, like a lot of strong performance, and I'm really, really happy for Leota, the young Victorian coming through. A great performance by him, and hopefully we'll be definitely seeing him a lot more in the Wallaby jerseys in the coming games. My thoughts on the game, guys. If you agree with anything that I've said, or if you have any other thoughts about who your player of the match is, who you thought sort of did well in the game, leave your comments below. Like, subscribe, share, do all the usual things. I'm Wangers, and this is Wangers TV, and that's my review and match reaction to the Wallabies 27-8 victory over the Argentinas in round 6 of the Rugby Championship. Talk to you soon, guys. See you later.